Folks, good morning, FYI family, and welcome to our broadcast. Wherever you're joining us from this morning, it's our privilege to be here with you. The Brakalali last night, the journalists in this country, the reporters, the Press Association, Brakalali last night at an event. The Chinese hosted a reception. They brackled him, folks. Corruption too much in this country. It's too much. Dora. Good morning to each and every one of you. Happy that you guys are here with us. Good to see you on the live this morning. I see Joseph, Shelly the Ridder, Jilly G, the one and only. Good to see Dolly Anderson here, and Edward. My coffee's finished. I wouldn't mind another cup. How are you guys doing this morning? Right? I wouldn't mind it in another utensil for drinking. We didn't like cup too much around these parts. Mandy, good to see you on the live this morning. Like I short. Paulette, good to see you. Wilma Grant and all the other folks who run with us this morning. Good to see Melanie Adams, Grace Noel, Tracy Wilson, all of our favorite people. Jam. Good to see you too. How are you folks doing? Grace Noel, so bring it on. Ali get Brackle last evening. Brackle and tackle. And if you see him against the ropes, see your boy against the ropes last evening. Yeah, Don Sullivan. John. Jack Joe declared, as a massive attempt to distract yesterday that he likes women. Yeah, that was earth-shattering. Cataclysmic. It's all distraction tactics. It is all distraction tactics. That's what he declared yesterday. The secret children now. Yeah. Or shattering. He likes women. Glenn and Deborah and Owen. Tis the season. How you folks doing? Valencia. How you doing, Valencia Langhorne and Roxy McKinnon. Good to see you on the live, Roxy and Owen and all the other beautiful folks joining us this morning. Claudia, Gibson John. You get spot, girl. Congrats. Gary Greenwald, we see you there as well. And Gary Wong and Melanie. Who me? Yes, you. Who me? Yeah. Who you? Good to have all of you on the live this morning. Man, the comments. And John, did I see Andrew Griffith too? It's a lot. Plenty enough. In the last year alone, don't let's even take on all four. Some of the international reporting on the conduct of this government has been one narrative. Cocaine, corruption, nepotism, state capture. Lorna, I'm making sense. A line on them. If a line tell me. Lester Jarrell, Chanel Wilson. If a line tell me Karen Smith. The installed regime. So if we get cornered last night. Arfan Ali, he was cornered last evening. And if you see him dancing, he wasn't shadowboxing. Is the reporters in this country had his back against the wall. And if you see what they're doing with him, you know what to do. Punch, headshots, headshots. Gloria Chester, good morning. Headshots. Joseph said, you're not lying. You see? You're not lying. Happy birthday to him, not Shaw. His birthday was the 3rd. And as you know, yesterday, him not Shaw, his birthday was the 3rd. As you know, yesterday, a number of sanctions were leveled against individuals in this country, and this is U.S. sanctions, that is, leveled against individuals in this country. And heading the list is a senior policeman who know Irfan very well, who know Jagdio very well. Birthday boy himself, him not sure, celebrated his birthday on the 3rd in fine style. When you see how some policemen living, sometimes I say I'm in the wrong profession. You know, politics don't pay if you're not corrupt. BJ, when you see how some people living, they say to save, you know, the moonlighters, phone card vendors, and they got billions. When you see how they're living. So, as I said, leading the list of sanctioned individuals was senior policeman, I'm not sure, sanctioned yesterday with another fellow called Randall Mark Cromwell, also known as Diamond and Demon. He is another high-ranking PPP official. He's in all their circles, attend all their events. He was sanctioned. One Paul Davy was sanctioned as well. Gwyneth, a line on them. And one Randolph Duncan. No relations. No relations. One Randolph Duncan. He was sanctioned as well. All of them are cocaine operators, the Americans allege. Right? This is cocaine shipment. And folks, if you go through the report from the U.S. Department of Treasury, right? Department of the Treasury, let me call it correctly. The U.S. Department of the Treasury, they will tell you. Now, one of the things that stood out to me, they said that yesterday's sanctions target, listen to this, yesterday's sanctions on these PP officials target drug traffickers, listen now carefully, utilizing boats and narco subs to traffic quantities of cocaine. This isn't your little, how does measure cocaine? I don't know, grams. This isn't your spec. They traffic in ton quantity cocaine. Ton quantity. So you have at least 2 of the 4, if not all of them, who are very familiar and work in close quarters with the PPP government. Folks, you know, we come into a time, young and decide what kind of government y'all want. Right? Everett and Deborah and Glenford, Carlisle, if y'all want cocaine government, or y'all want a real government with integrity and hard-working people. Not hard-working in the cocaine train. Carlisle, Madhu, that is what the report says. They deal in ton, T-O-N. I want you to hear me clearly. I'm quoting the report here. Right? They're dealing big ton quantities of cocaine. Randall Mark Cromwell, known as Diamond and Demon, he spends a lot of time with Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture, Ramson. He's pictured a lot with Ramson. And by extension, the PP government. Right? So you got him, Mark, Randall Mark Cromwell, known as Diamond and Demon, Randolph James, Paul Davy, and then you got, I'm not sure, sanctioned yesterday, ton quantities of cocaine. These aren't light matters at all. And here it is said of the policeman, I'm not sure, the senior policeman. They said a couple things about him. You know, I'm talking from the Department of the Treasury, U.S. Department of the Treasury. I'm quoting. They said he's a law enforcement officer. Listen to this. I'm not sure. He's a law enforcement officer of the Guyana Police Force, of which Clifton Hickins is the commissioner of police. You all see the quandary we got in this country? The wedding planner commissioner, I'm not sure, falls under him. The wedding planner, the collector from the stakeholders. And listen to what the U.S. Department of the Treasury report said. That I'm not sure. You're listening to this morning? I'm not sure has ensured safe passage, right, to Colombian and Venezuelan traffickers. I'm not sure has ensured safe passage to Colombian and Venezuelan traffickers through Region 1. Through Region 1. Through Region 1. In September 2024, the Department of the Treasury says, following the discovery of 4.4 tons of cocaine in Region 1, he was assigned to the Guyana Police Force Transport Workshop. That's the holding station. When you're between places, they send you to the workshop. I don't know if they teach them to bake cocaine, to make cocaine there. But that's the holding place. When you're in between places, they sent him there. He ensured safe passage to Colombian and Venezuelan traffickers through Region 1. Sanctioned yesterday. Sanctioned yesterday under the PPP installed regime. Guyanese, you will have to determine over the next few weeks what kind of government you want. You all know we're not all razzle-dazzle. Marlon Thomas. We're not all razzle-dazzle. We're not all razzle-dazzle. But we got a little integrity. You know? We got a little something between we ears. We got a little brought up cement. We got a little bit of it. We got a little pride. We might be poor. We can't even afford the other OR to be poor. We poor. P.O. Can't afford the rest. But we got a little integrity. We got a decency. We got a moral compass. So yesterday, as these sanctions on Randolph and Davy and Hemnut and Demon, Diamond, Jean and Dinah, as the sanctions came down, the vice president was quizzed on this. Now his response is instructive. His response is instructive because it seemed like everybody else knew, everybody else had read about the sanctions, save and accept the vice president. Save and accept the vice president. And even when confronted with the information that he said, I'm going to comment on it, I'm going to comment. He said, all right, I'm going to comment later. Take a look at some of what happened in the press conferences. The Corner Shop show Thursday at 2, Thursdays at 2, the Corner Shop show. Right. When Sue's your wrong friend, Barack Jagdeo, right? Sue's your wrong landlord. Who Sue? Y'all forget Sue already? Huh? Y'all forget Sue already? The man and the tenant? Sue's your wrong friend, Barack Jagdeo. When he was quizzed yesterday, listen to classic deflection. Listen to classic non-transparency, whatever the adjectives, the antonyms. Listen to how they operate. Take a look.
We have a DEA presence in Guyana. And we have a close working relationship with the U.S. government and with the law enforcement agencies in the United States of America. I've not seen, I'm here at a press conference, there was an expectation that the sanctioned entities would have, or the additional sanctions would come earlier, but apparently they did now. And so I've not seen their names. You said it's relation to drug trafficking. I would like to, I don't mind commenting on it, but I would like to just read what it is. Steve, why don't you print it out for me? I don't mind commenting on it, but I need to read it first. There's sanction, who was sanctioned and what. But if it's to, let me see.
That's from the OFAC website itself.
Or so there are people from around the world, but including from Guyana. So
some Colombians and 4 Guyanese.
Some Colombians who are living here? Oh, no, they're from.
Their address is not here, but it is in direct relation to.
I will look at it later and then give a comment.
Print it out, Steve. I can comment on it. Print it out. And then when the thing come fast, too fast, you know, it come too fast. What's here? Thing living here. Steve. Guilty as charged. Guilty, Steve. You know what he went on to talk about there? After that, Mohammed. Mohammed. I ain't see it yet, but you will see it and comment. And then when you see it, look, I didn't really mean that. I can comment later. Steve, I like feedbacks into the phone like he read it before, you know. Everybody else in the country read it, right? But a man who invent the word fast by his own conduct, like mouth lazy. Steve, I ain't think I got my glasses. Y'all like don't read. Steve. Folks, we can't make this stuff up in this country. Right? You can't make this, Steve. Stu? Also, and people going across and say, yeah, I can stand with them. These crooks, scams, and bandits. I ain't stand with them. Well, I broke the earphone last night. With the glasses. Steve. Print it out. In the meantime, while Steve printing, y'all don't pass me no phone with the thing. Steve, when all else fails, call on Steve. Steve, they know everything but home business. They know from the time Norton wake up till ready for sleep. They know who were the Mohammeds. They know Dr. Sugrim. They know who else he called the press conference? The man from Region 6. Versami. Oh, they know the other one too. They know everybody. They know Melly Mel. They know Odessa. Welcome to the home business. Steve. Oh, Colombia. Steve. Steve. Anybody who names Simon S is problems, you know. Present company excluded. Steve. From Sue to Steve. Steve. Print it out. So the broccoli fun last night. The broccoli fun last night. Do you remember that same press conference yesterday? Jack just said, look, I'm done with this. Right? I'm telling you, he's not answering any questions on this. Matter close. He's not answering. Steve. He was quizzed on Lambo Gate yesterday. Steve. Lambo Gate. You got the sanctions. Hem Not and Demon, Diamond, Gene and Dinah. Steve. And then you got Lambo Gate. All these things running concurrently. We head into general and regional elections, national elections. Steve. Print it. Hear what Jagdo said yesterday on Lambo Gate. He said, done with that, man. Done with that. All right. Let me deal with the sanctions. We'll come back in a minute or two to Lambo Gate. Guilty as charged. Lambo Gate. Steve. God damn it. Can't you go to help these days? Steve. So Air Finale was brackled last evening. Tackled and brackled. Against the ropes. He had no fancy footwork last night. He couldn't walk out of there. Asked about this issue. The sanctions and the police investigation. Take a look at what he said. Sanctioned policemen, etc., etc. Mind you, you all remember Jagger just tell us the DA is here. You all know the Granger administration brought the DA. The DEA up until 2015, they were trying the best to get an office open here. They were stonewalled by the PPP. For the 23 years they were in government, now 23 was not 28. Stonewall. Then the AFC came to government. A government of high moral principles and conviction. With moral authority, said, okay. And what didn't happen in years, happened in a day. The office, open. So when Jagdio talks about, we have a DA office here, Steve, it's not for want of them and their efforts, but the previous government. So here is what our fund said when it was brackled last evening, brackled and tackled by the media last night on these sanctions, including this top policeman, Hemnat Shah. Happy birthday, Hemnat.
In relation to the sanctions and the police officer, there are a number of things that will happen, of course. The police officer will have to proceed administratively. I've already spoken to the ambassador, requested all the information that is available so that we can proceed with action.
Did the police ever conduct an investigation on its own following the 4-ton cocaine bust in the Northwest?
Well, I don't go into the details of investigation, but I know that there have always been tremendous partnership. Remember that Boston Region 1.
That's what I'm referring
Strong
to.
partnership. So there has been partnership, sharing of information, and I'm sure there was engagement from the security front.
Were you blindsided by this
I won't say
action by the police today?
I won't say that I won't use the word blindsided. The US has been discussing with us. We've been working together on this security issue, and the US has been talking to us on various initiatives to target persons who are involved, whether it's formal or informal setting.
Maybe Jumbie Lash is enough. I won't say we were blindsided. Good folks, perhaps Jumbie Lash, is a better iteration. I wouldn't say we. What would you say, Irfan? What would you say? Right? Why hasn't he launched an investigation? 4.4 tons of cocaine. Why didn't you, in your own right, launch an investigation? Confront him with that question.
Why only send him an administrative leave and rather than launch an investigation?
Well, remember, that's not my decision. The Police Service Commissioner and the Commission will send him on the administrative leave. The investigation will be ongoing. So you have to launch an investigation, you have to have information. So I've spoken to the US Ambassador, and I know the security architects and instructors also keeping this.
And then he tried to flip the script. Irfan Ali tried to flip the script yesterday. The matter of Transparency International, Anjon, Sheila Boyd Child, Levy Go, Linda McCalman. Transparency International, there's a hub here in Guyana. Transparency International Guyana has been raising some questions about Irfan Ali and the Lambo Gate and Invoice Gate, and raising some serious questions and concerns. Very, very serious questions and concerns. And here's how Irfan Ali describes Transparency International Guyana, because it's TI that's under investigation. It's not him, not Shaw. It's not him, Irfan Ali, bringing the office of the president into disrepute. Right? It's Transparency International, perhaps.
Transparency International Guyana is a fake organization. It's an organization that's political. It's an organization that has no transparency in itself. Let me start by saying that. Let me go on to say now that I've spoken on this matter. I've issued a statement. There's absolutely nothing I'm going to add on it.
Spoken to this matter. Remember, Jack, we say he ain't talking. He doesn't talk. Irfan, you're not saying anything. Steve! Finish talking. I want to say kudos to the journalists. Not fake journalists, like fake doctors. I ain't talking about people who believe in their heart there's a doctor. And really there's a quactor. I ain't talking to people who believe in their heart there's a journalist, but it's propagandist. The journalist stood up last night. Brackle and tackle Ali. Brackle and tackle Ali. You're going to see him against the ropes. Watch how he's sweating. Guilty as charged. Watch how he's fumbling to find words. Guilty as charged. Folks, may I tell you all, brace yourself. Brace it over. You're sharing your life. You're smashing the emoji button. Brace it over. I said brace. Brace it over. My God. The man himself, who was driving wrong in the Raptor, belonging to the Mohammeds, now suddenly they will not go down in the trenches. You enter the trench van though. Then they put the presidential seal, coat of arms, on the Raptor, belonging to the Mohammeds. You know the people is some real hypocrites. When you look for the word hypocrite in the dictionary, you see a photograph of Irfan, you see a photograph of Jagdio, hypocrites. One day, oh, these are our close friends. You're the sanctum people. And then tomorrow, trench. We don't go down in the trenches with them. Irfan is a trench crapo. He's a trench crapo. One day, PNC, Apnu AFC is a bunch of riggers. And then tomorrow, Daniel, welcome. Steve, get Daniel some coffee. Steve. Welcome, Daniel. Ishmael, welcome. Until you cross the line and go over, there's a bunch of riggers. Once you cross the line, oh, you've been absolved. Won't say no more. You've been absolved. But they brackled him last night. And he had no Steve to print nothing to deflect it. But he did a lot of deflection, to be honest. Take a look.
I've said very clearly to you on this matter, I don't have any authority on taxes. Any citizen can raise any issue with me. Those matters are forwarded to the relevant agency. The agency is what makes decision. And if a document is falsified and brought an agency or sent to anyone, then what do? We have to wait until we get the full correct document, which we have now, which is the United States of and that's the.
But why in the first instance would you have an engagement with him on the matter of the taxes that
Why are you saying I had an engagement with him? The gentleman showed, did you see any engagement there?
Well,
did you see any engagement there?
He's claiming so.
Well, he can claim. This guy is also claiming that he's not sanctioned. This guy is claiming that he did not evade taxes when the evidence is clear before him. The duplicity and dishonesty. I would not be part of that. This guy can claim whatever he wants, but the truth is glaring before him.
My question is, if you have a conversation on WhatsApp with me,
I can't say what conversation. Myself, I have conversation with every time. And making my number public as if it's something fanciful, goes around the world. Any agency, every day, I've never changed my number. Citizens send different issues, all the issues are forwarded to different agencies. Every single day I receive issues by residents, by citizens, and it is my style to ensure that those things that citizens raise the fear sent to the agency. The taxes is a matter for the Guyana Revenue Authority.
Did he ask you for help?
The Revenue Authority, I can't say what he asked for. He showed what he asked for, but I don't know what help. I can't help in tax matters. If an issue is raised to the president, he forwarded to the agency. That's all.
Did you raise it to Trudeau?
I don't.
you can't remember the conversation.
We show the extent of a conversation. I can't recall anything. But we saw the extent of the conversation. What did we see? Let us be honest to ourselves.
Let us be honest with ourselves. I can't remember nothing. Right? You see what you see. I can't remember nothing. I'm not going to be involved in that. No. Hold on. My correct voice. Hold on. Irfan is to be believed. He is not involved in tax matters. Then in those very text messages that he's asking reporters if they have seen the extent of it, he suggested 25 million is paid. The man who is not involved in tax matters. And then businessman Ashraf Mohammed suggests that I can pay 50 million. You think station give me a hassle for that? It was not Mohammed suggesting a lower tax regime is paid, 25 million, and Irfan suggesting 50 million. It was Irfan who was suggesting pay 25 million. And the businessman said, "You're serious? I think I can pay 50. I think I can pay 50. And Irfan says he's not involved in tax matters. He is not involved in tax matters. I can't remember. You know, very evasive. He pleaded amnesia. I can't remember. But when it comes to Apnu AFC, oh, memory long. Memory long like twine, elephant memory. But when it comes to him and his friends on whose vehicles he had the presidential coat of arms, I can't remember. I can't remember. This needs a COI. This needs an independent investigation. How many other invoices were forwarded to him? Were taxes paid directly to Irfan and not to the GRA? Is that the case? It is frightening. It is frightening. Good folks, you read every international report over the last 4 years, and you'll see it's cocaine, 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 cocaine. Corruption, 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 corruption. Jagdio, regime. It permeates every sector. Transparency International, just last month, I think it is, spoke about state capture. Just last month, report after report will tell you. It's not just this recent U.S. Department of the Treasury report. Transparency International told us you got state capture implications here. Friends, family, and favorites. Rampant nepotism. On the Transparency International Corruption Perception Index, last year, we scored 39 out of 100. The lowest in the English-speaking Caribbean, 39. Priya would say you can't get left behind. Go over the next class. No child left behind. 39 is passed in the PPP. This Transparency International Corruption Perception Index spoke about rampant, listen to this, rampant nepotism. This is your friends, family, and favorites. It spoke to political interference. This is what they call political interference now, right? With GRA. This is what they call lack of transparency. I can't remember. Lack of transparency, right? Institutional failure. Here the report says, the Corruption Perception Index report, corruption flourishes unchecked in this government. Corruption flourishes unchecked. Unchecked. And then to deflect, right? to distract. We got to hold a focus. To distract us. Jagdio says all manner of things to shock us, to distract us. So in his corner shop show yesterday, he was asked about his relationship with Azruddin Mohammed. And how he responded can only be deemed meant to distract us, to confuse us, to shock us into distraction. Take a look.
All right, thank you, sir. My other question, this is relation to your personal relationship, or should I say past relationship with Mr. Mohammed.
What was that relationship? You're asking me about it. Tell me, what was the relationship? I'm waiting. I'm relaxing here. What kind of relationship?
Business
I like
personal.
Women. I like women. There's no relationship there. What kind of relationship are you talking about?
You see, that was calculated. That was calculated to shock, to confuse, that I like women. You see the strategy there? You see, that is meant to say, and then you take your eyes off now. The sanction him not. What? He likes. You see the tactic there? You see the political strategy there? I like woman. Woman. You see the strategy there? That is calculated. That is calculated to distract. All the years we know. Big head. Why now? This admission. It is calculated to distract Deirdre. Right? What are we doing now? Right now, in this moment. We talking about Hickens? We talking about, see, I can't remember Hickens' deputy now. Who's Hickens' deputy again? Or was he deputy? Married man. Remember Hickens was the wedding planner? You see what I'm telling you? It was calculated to distract. The shock value. He likes women. My God. Front page stuff. Shock and surprise across the country. It was calculated to distract. But we got to hold a focus. We got to hold a focus. So slack back to now is slack. It's meant to distract. But we going to hold a focus. We going to hold a focus. He likes me. Didn't see that one coming. Didn't see that one coming. But don't let me be distracted. You know, I saw influencer Ronald Austin Jr. said a couple of things on social media yesterday. But one of them stood out to me, Joycelyn, Mandy, and Leslyn. Let me hold a focus. One of them stood out to me. Now, Austin is a bright fellow. Both Austin, senior and junior. Bright fellas. And John, junior holder, standing up tall, standing tall, is a bright fellow. And here is what he said, and resonated with so many people. GRA and invoice and pay for play and corruption and loss of no moral authority. All of the ballot, you know. Here what Austin said yesterday. He said we can talk, or rather, we can talk all we want about David Granger, and by extension, right? By extension, the APNU AFC government, 2015 to 2020, we can talk all we want about David Granger. But I guarantee, if nobody messaging Granger about tax waivers and getting a response, let alone some action on the matter, First, you're lucky if you get a number, let alone WhatsApp contact. Second, if you do, he would direct you to GRA and tell you that his office is not a tax agency. Or since ever y'all don't want that, y'all don't want to get great news sometimes. You like the corruption. Steve, you want the money. You want the hustle and flow. Well, you get it now. Why cry now? Let the party continue. You get what you pay for. You don't get the reward already. You done got your reward already. Talk all you want. Talk all you want. This administration, this regime has been scandal after scandal after scandal after scandal after scandal after scandal. Show us the equivalent of this in the last administration. Show us the equivalence of this or any of the other scandals this government has been embroiled in the last administration. Imagine, was it 2021, December, November, December? Or was it 2022 on Anti-Corruption Day, International Anti-Corruption Day? It was the then U.S. Ambassador Sarah Lynch, who was telling the government to enact anti-corruption measures. And in her letter to the government, the only thing she could have pointed to was things done under the last administration, the APNU AFC administration, in terms of combating corruption. Now, some of y'all can get very antsy now, right? And we've shown this to you often. But look some of what the last administration did in terms of anti-corruption initiatives. Under the last government, Guyana had its best ratings on the Transparency International Index. The best. The best. Last year, the PPP got 30 out of 100. And we were riggers. They can't get one conviction with the many charges they've charged our comrades. But we the riggers. And they're getting 30 out of 100. The last administration had the best ratings in a generation on the index. On the APNU AFC, you're sharing the life. We were removed from the European Commission's money laundering blacklist. We must have done the back on it again. Removed. Jack Dio, Irfan Ali. We don't talk we own story too often. That's the problem. Right? We don't talk we story. This is what some people shifting and run across the other side of the political aisle. They're running to this. They're running from this. We were removed from the European Commission money laundering list. In 2013, under the PPP, Guyana was blacklisted by the Caribbean Financial Action Task Force. Blacklisted. By 2015, we just come in. Same month we come in. 10 days after we come in. The anti-money laundering and countering the financing of terrorism bill was passed in National Assembly. But we didn't do nothing. We didn't do nothing. When Sarah Ann Lynch was looking, for example, she couldn't point on the nothing. She couldn't point to nothing that the PPP had done in the 23 years prior being in government to combat corruption. She said, look, you see in May, soon as them boys come in, 10 days after taking office, they passed the anti-money laundering and countering the financing of terrorism bill. They passed it. The PB couldn't do it in 23 years. We did it in 10 days. But we are the riggers. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Under the last administration, Guyana gained Tier 1 status in our fight against trafficking in persons. Persons trafficking more bad under this administration. So much so that the CIA, or was it the FBI? I think it was the FBI, met with the Attorney General and told him, this is Anil and Dilal. We don't just only want arrests, but we want arrest that leads to conviction. Because that is the old rope, you know. They say, oh, we have arrested several persons. They have arrested several persons for cocaine trafficking too. Right? Who before the courts for the 4 tons that are found in Region 1? Who in court to the 2 tons that were shipped to Belgium? The FBI told the AG, we don't just want arrests for trafficking in persons. We want to see convictions. And then, as I told you, after more than a decade of trying, the DEA, the JAG you referred to, he said we got DEA office in Guyana. After decades of trying, the DEA was able to open an office in Guyana. Now, those are historic things. But this installed regime will tell you, right? APNU FC never do nothing. We never do nothing. Never mind, brothers and sisters. We didn't have oil money then. But we created the architecture for oil money. We didn't have oil money. But we were busy hammering out the Natural Resource Fund bill. Busy hammering it out. And that is why when the PPP came in, when they were installed, they were able to reap the windfall so quickly because they had something that was ready-made, already there and waiting. How much have Guyanese lives been bettered by this installed regime? More people trying to leave this country every day than come to this country. Folks, the choice couldn't be more stark as we head into these general and regional elections. The choice could not be more stark. It could not. Do we want more scandals? Is that what we want? Do we want that? Do we want more corruption? Do we want more nepotism? Friends, family, and favorites? Do we want more exclusivity where only some benefit? A cabal? Or do you want inclusivity in how the wealth of this country is distributed? The choice couldn't be any stark. It couldn't be any stark. You got to make the decision for yourself. You got to make the decision for yourself. I don't tell you all, I ain't going no place. I did right here, Avril, Deborah, Marcia. With all of this, you can see some others still choose it, you know. Right? Right now, you're not going to see, they can put a pause on crossing the floor. They can put a pause for a couple of days. Right? And saying, they're going to forget it just now. Hold on. Don't roll out anybody. But the people who decide they're going to walk over, this is what they're really walking over to. Say, give me more of this. Give me more corruption. Give me more nepotism. Friends, family, favorites, I want to be one of them. Ill-gotten gains. You got your reward already. Let us leave it there this morning, folks. I didn't get bracket last night. It was against the ropes, man. Trying to manner things against the ropes. Let's leave it there, folks. We can see you guys in the next podcast. Share the like for us, please, and thank you. Smash that emoji button as well. And if you care to partner with us, You see, we ain't got no 4.4 tons of cocaine, no way. We depend on you to keep our programs going. Valid, credible information all the time. That's our time, good folks. That's our program. Thanks for joining us, Marcella, Rena, Wilma, Sharon, and all the other folks, Joseph, Carlisle, and all the other beautiful folks joining us this morning. Marilyn Thomas, Deborah Clark, Ingrid, Everil. Thanks for joining us. We're going to see you guys on the other side of the day. Pace and power. Pace and power.